Hi cuties! I hope you guys are doing so well. So in today's video, I'm going to be trying out these pre-painted French nail full cover tips that I got from TEMU, and I showed you guys in my TEMU haul video, which was my last video. I asked you guys if you'd like to see me test them out, and a lot of you guys said that you would. So this weekend is going to be pretty busy. It's my finals weekend, so I'm going to have a lot of stuff to do, and the nails that I previously had on, which were my chunky charm nails, low-key started like overstimulating me with how many charms were on it, and they were kind of bothering me, so I ended up just like taking those off yesterday. So now I want to put some nails on, so I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to try these because I don't have a lot of time. I literally only have 2 hours to do this, and usually it takes me like 7 hours to film. So I'm going to be seeing if these really are super quick and convenient. Let's just get into it, shall we? So it says that these are soft gel tips, but I'm pretty sure they're probably just plastic. This entire package was only like less than $3 when I got it. And it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sets of nails, so you could get potentially 5 whole manicures out of this, which I think is a pretty good deal. Something that I mentioned in my haul video though is that if you kind of get a close-up, you can kind of tell that the French tips are kind of spray painted on, and you can kind of see the pink from the nail tip showing through, which is like a little annoying, but I want to see if I put a top coat on and stuff, if it'll kind of like hide that and make it so it's not that big of a deal, because I'm really hoping that these work nicely, because if they do, this is going to be like a really great option if you just want quick French tips, basically press on nails, but you want to buy like 5 different sets of press on nails for only less than $3. That's actually insane. So I'm just gonna take out one of these, and I'm gonna start by just sizing them out. And ooh, it seems that the first size fits my nail actually perfectly, which is really nice to see. Although I do feel like if your nail beds do run slightly larger, then these nail tips might not work the best for you, because I feel like my nail beds are pretty average slash maybe a little bit on the larger side, but I do know girls and like people who have a lot larger nail beds than me, so yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna get all of these sized out. I do have my hard gel layer still on my natural nails, except this time I didn't fill it in. Usually after I remove my previous set by filing it off, I do go in with another really thin layer of hard gel just to kind of, you know, reinforce my hard gel layer and fill in anywhere where my natural nail is peeking out, because I do keep a protective hard gel layer on my nail. If you are new here, I keep it just because it helps me create a buffer layer between my natural nail so that I'm not having to constantly prep my natural nail every time I change my sets. I can just be prepping the hard gel layer that's on top of my natural nail because I never remove it. Anyway, but yeah, I did not fill that in this time because I want to make sure that my nail beds didn't have a lot of product on them, because these tips are quite flat, nowhere near as curved and sculpted as the Après nails tips that I usually like to use. But I do think that not filling in that hard gel layer is helping these tips to fit a lot better than they would have if I did fill it in like I usually do. Okay, so those actually all sized out really nicely, although I do think that these need to be a little customized for my nail beds, because I feel like these corners are kind of digging in to my cuticle area, and I'd like them to be a little tiny bit more rounded. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my wooden file, and I'm just going to file the cuticle area of all these nail tips to be a little bit more rounder around the corners. This is totally not a necessary step if you are doing these and you're like running short on time, but I feel like I do have enough time to do that, so I'm just gonna do it because it'll just help them to fit a little bit better. And although I'm not planning on wearing these nails for very long, I do not like when my nails pop off or start lifting before I want to take them off, so I do like to make sure that I apply them for longevity every single time, even if I'm only planning on wearing them for like 3 days. Because like the most annoying thing to me is when you're like out and about and doing something and all of a sudden your nail pops off and you're like, you don't have nail glue and you're stuck with like extra long nails on all your fingers, and then like your middle finger on one hand doesn't have a nail. It's like, don't want that to happen. So now that all of the nail tips are ready, I'm going to put these to the side because we do have a little bit of prep that we need to do to our natural nails. So usually you guys don't see me do any cuticle prep because I do all my cuticle prep right after I take off my previous set and before I put on my protective hard gel layer. But since I didn't fill in my protective hard gel layer this time, I didn't do any like extensive cuticle prep, and I feel like there is a little bit of dead skin and stuff that I want to make sure is not on my nail bed before we put these on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my cuticle pusher and I'm just going to like lightly push back my cuticles and stuff really quick. Nothing too crazy. This is definitely a step though that you do want to make sure to do if you want these nails to last longer than like a week. So beautiful, but me, no. Okay, now I'm just going to take some isopropyl alcohol and I'm going to clean off and dehydrate all of my nail beds. And then I was debating whether or not I was going to put these tips on using regular nail glue or a nail glue gel like I usually do. And I think I am going to use a nail glue gel because I do want to show you guys that you can use a nail glue gel to put these ones on because the nail bed area is transparent enough that it will cure. So I am going to first put a really thin layer of base gel on. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this base gel on my little transparent sticky note palette here. And I'm going to put it on using a separate brush. You don't really have to do this, but this particular base gel that I'm using, I really like it, but it's also really thick. And I find it just a lot easier to put on using a separate brush so that I can like control the thickness of the layer easier without like flooding my cuticles and everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a really thin layer of that on all of my nails, making sure that it is really thin because I don't want to bulk up my nail bed since we did already size out the nail tips. And if we bulk up the nail bed after we've already sized them out, then it's going to affect how they fit. Oh, there's a little piece of glitter. What the heck? This is a step that you typically wouldn't see in my regular videos because in my regular videos I'm usually like focusing on like a particular product or like a particular theme. I don't really like doing the extensive prep like this every single time, but for this video I did want to like show you guys. But I do have separate videos showing you guys every step of my like prep, how I remove the nails, how I prep my cuticles, and then how I apply the base gel and apply my hard gel layer and everything like that. And I did make a playlist on my channel. If you go to like my YouTube channel page and you go to the playlist, there's a playlist called Nail Basics, and I compiled like all of my super basic like nail 101 how I do it into that playlist so that you guys can like watch those if you ever need like a refresher or you want to know how I do my prep from beginning to end and how I remove my nails and everything like that. Into the night. She go out for the wind as a dance with the sun. Everything in life is so uncomfortable. A silent symphony no one can hear. Something broke inside her a long time ago, and she's not supposed to be alone. Supposed to be alone. Alone again. If anyone could see the storm within, I better shake it. So I've got the base gel on all my nails now, and I fully cured it for 60 seconds for each hand. These nail tips are not pre-etched, so I do want to prep the nail bed area of all of them to make sure that they're going to adhere to my nail really well and like stick to the gel and everything. So to do that, I'm just going to use my primer as usual. And like you see how the inside's like super glossy and like shiny like that? That's just gonna like not let the gel adhere to it very well. So I'm just going to like chemically etch it basically with this primer, just create a better surface for the gel to stick onto. And honestly, if you're just using regular nail glue as well, you probably want to take either a file or a buffer of some sort and etch the inside of these tips, because like the same concept applies for regular nail glue as well. Okay, now we are ready to put them on. So usually to put on my full cover tips, I would use the nail glue gel in a squeezy tube, which is not like a solid non-stick gel. But this time I want to see if I use this non-stick gel, if I can get it to where I don't have to do like barely any filing, since I should be able to easily like scrape off anything that squeezed out before I cure it. I just want to test it out. So let's do it. So I'm just going to use this little spatula and get out like a pea-sized amount, if you will. This stuff is quite hard at the moment because it's really cold in my room. Maybe this isn't a good idea. I guess we'll find out. I'm just gonna take this and put it on the inside of the tip. Ooh, it's sticking very easily actually. It might take a couple times for me to get the amount right, but let's see. I do think I do need a little bit more, so let's try that again. Just gonna put it up here where it was kind of lacking last time. I always underestimate how long my nail beds are. That was actually perfect. Nice. And I have like very minimal air bubbles, like close to none. Before I cure it, I'm just gonna take my little wooden cuticle pusher and just like kind of make sure that there's no gel sticking out. And that looks pretty good to me. So I'm just gonna get out my gooseneck lamp and gonna give it a little cure, just like a flash cure to make sure it doesn't move because I'm clumsy and I will knock it against things while I'm doing the other ones. All right, perfect. I don't think that I'll need to do any filing actually. I could probably at the end file it a little around here just so that it looks a little more natural, but for these, honestly, I don't think it's gonna matter too much. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply all of the rest of them the exact same way. I'm finding that actually this solid nail glue gel being cold and like a little bit harder is actually making it easier to work with. I find it like easier to manage, I guess, when it's like really cold like this. So maybe like if you're finding like solid nail glue gel hard to work with, try putting it in your like fridge for like 10 minutes before you use it and see if that helps. For these particular like pre-painted full cover tips, it's gonna be really important that we don't have to do a lot of filing as well, because if we were to file it, we would definitely end up like filing off that black painted part, especially because you can tell in some areas, I feel like if I accidentally scratched it or something, you can see that like the paint kind of peeled off. So yeah, definitely when using these, not gonna wanna have to do a lot of filing.
She got everything she needs, so beautiful but mean. Everything in life is so uncomfortable. The silent symphony no one can hear. Something broke inside her a long time ago, and she's not supposed to be alone. Supposed to be alone. Alone again, if anyone could see.
I think that those look really good. I went ahead and did my other hand off camera really quick since it was just the same exact process. And I think that the solid nail glue gel is definitely the way to go. I did take a lot of time just making sure that the cuticle area looked really clean and like I wanted it to. So to get to this point, while filming, it took me an hour and 20 minutes, but I was filming the whole thing. So I think that if I wasn't filming, it probably would have taken me only an hour, but I do like to take my time and like make sure that everything looks like I want it to and do everything like pretty thoroughly. So yeah. That's just how I am. I like to pay attention to all the little details. But anyway, the free edges of these nails definitely need to be filed because you can tell where like they came off the form, and also they're really scratchy, like really scratchy. I like scratched myself a little bit. I don't know where, but I scratched myself. I think I'm gonna file the free edges after I put the top coat on because I don't wanna risk ruining the black French tip or like having it chip or whatever, because I don't know how that's gonna go. But I think that I don't know if I want to put stickers or just like rhinestones. I was thinking that we could put these stickers because I think they like match really well, of course, with like the black and the pink. I am still on a time crunch and it's taking me forever to decide what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do stickers on 3 of the nails, and then for little accent nails, I'm just going to do some sort of little heart charm down by the cuticle area, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. So let's just do it. Usually before I would go in and do like nail art on top, I would wipe all the tips off with isopropyl alcohol to make sure that they are all nice and clean and everything, but I am a little worried that if I do that, that the black tip is going to come off, since it does look like it's like painted on there with some sort of spray paint or something. So I don't want to risk the black French tip coming off, so we're just gonna do it this way and I think it'll be fine.
I better shake it loose, like thunderlight behind the eyes into the night. She go out for the wind as I dance with the sun. Everything in life is so uncomfortable. A silent symphony no one can hear. Something broke inside her a long time ago, and she's not supposed to be alone.
Okay, obviously I changed my mind and I ended up putting stickers on all of the nails. I don't know. I just felt like it looks cute like this and I just want to keep them all the same. I don't know. I just wanted more stickers, I guess. So I think I'm actually going to be using a matte top coat today because I'm actually liking how these nails are matte, and I want to keep them that way. So I'm just going to put a nice generous top coat over everything. The nice thing about matte top coat is that they are pretty thick, so it should like encapsulate all of the stickers pretty well and make sure that they don't lift or anything. Also, I noticed that the stickers were having a tough time like sticking down to this matte surface, and I think that's probably just something in general that I wasn't aware of, that stickers, I guess, don't stick very well onto matte surfaces, or it might just be these stickers that I used don't stick very well, but it was kind of annoying. I think that this top coat is going to make the stickers look so nice though. I've actually never used a matte top coat over stickers before, but I've seen other people do it and it always looks so nice. So I'm quite excited.
Supposed to be alone, alone again. If anyone could see the story then, I better shake it loose.
Okay, we're not completely done yet because I still need to file the free edges. I didn't forget about that, but I do think that they look really nice. So now I'm just gonna take my file and I'm going to lightly, just very lightly file the free edges to make sure they're nice and sharp and to get rid of that little area where they came off of the form. Using these kitty stickers reminded me that me and my boyfriend watched the animation that won, what is it, the Oscar award? I don't know. It's called Flow, and I won't like spoil it, but it like follows a black cat and the story is pretty sad. And honestly, there's a part, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's a part in that movie that literally made me sob. It was an interaction between a bird and a cat, and I have a bird and a cat. It just made me so sad. I literally was sobbing. Like, I'm not a crier when it comes to movies usually. So I recommend that if you don't like watching sad movies that you don't watch it. But it is a really beautiful animation. So yeah. Alright, so with that, here are the finished nails. I actually really love these. You know, putting the top coat on, if you look really, really, really close, I don't think it helped to get rid of that kind of like look that they're spray painted on. I really don't think that it's noticeable at all though from like a regular distance. And I really love the colors of these nails too. Like I love this like pink nudie color. Like I just like them so much. So I'm very happy with how these turned out. And I think that it is a really good deal. They feel really strong. Like they don't feel flimsy at all or like bendy, and sometimes full cover tips can feel like that and I really hate it when they do, but these feel really strong. And I didn't even put like a builder gel or anything. Like literally this is just a matte top coat, so that's really good. If there are any updates before I post this video or before I take them off, then I will definitely let you guys know. But yeah, anyway cuties, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys are having the most amazing day, night, week, life. Sleep well if you're going to sleep, cutie. I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye!